the big church folks will say, oh, my gosh, that's so devilish. What are you doing playing that song? Because I like how it sounds. I admit I'm worldly. I love God. I go protest abortion clinics. I stand up against evil. I risk my life. But then I'm not perfect. And the point is, there's something honest about people singing and saying what they're really thinking. Instead of all these fakes that tell you how good they are all day, and they're the ones that are molesting kids behind the scenes. I'm here to tell you. It's like, I love how Trump played rock and roll yesterday when he came out of the press conference. The media was like, what on earth is this? It's like, I don't care. I feel like doing this because it'll freak you out. Because he's all about the confidence he has and the fact that he's not out to get anybody, but you're not going to run him over. And he looks at what they've done to America and all these elites. He's like, this is really bad to not build an economy where the people have success, where the people have any type of honor. But I wanted to ask Mark Dice here before he leaves us. I think I even forget the question, but I'm sure he remembers. It was basically, how do we defeat their attempts at censorship? How do we make a big deal about Trump's Twitter even being censored? And there were some other questions I was asking him, but I'm teleprompter free. I didn't write notes, but what the question was, I'm sure, again, he'll remember. But I don't make a big deal out of the fact that, if you don't go to sign up at Infowars.com/newsletter, when they start shutting stuff more down, I wish I'd have set up the last 20 years email so I could send you videos, articles, and bypass them. I never wanted to do it, never dealt with it till like a few years ago, and we've only got like 1 million emails. That sounds like a lot. We reached billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of people. I mean, we've reached like probably 3 billion people total, probably 6-7 billion views on YouTube now. It was like 5 billion a few years ago total. YouTube told us, they said, we want to monetize all this. They sent us stuff. We had to do non-disclosures, all that kind of stuff. But they got the real analytics, and they're like, we want to monetize this. You got over 5 billion views. And I said, I don't want to shut all those channels down and do all that. And I said they could have it, so I'm just not going to do it. But we can monetize a few of ours, But again, I knew they could take it away at any time. So it funds a fraction of what we do. But if we don't have your email, we can't send you 50% off on a product or a key video or a breaking alert. Same thing with Dice. I see him all over the news. He never even says markdice.com. Drudge is right. When he came here, only interview he's done in like 4 years. And he said, you got to get out of these internet ghettos and have your own thing. Because then the web becomes about websites again, not just Facebook, Twitter, and Google, who can control you, and Apple systems that, block Joe Rogan's podcast for a few days and then won't list it as the all-time podcast of all time. Like, I'm going to call Joe. He wants me to come back on. Maybe Mark Dice should come on with me for 4 hours. That would be a great interview. Because I just want to promote other cool people in the fight, because there's also safety in that. And I'm not a coward. But the thing is, again, I want to stress this. I'm not in competition with other patriots. I'm in competition with globalists that want to destroy competition. I'm in competition against monopolies. And so I just keep saying that because the people I respect most are like people like Matt Drudge, who literally has given Promethean fire to hundreds of websites and groups and organizations, because I know the behind-the-scenes traffic info. Most of these places wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Matt Drudge. So people say, why do you go back to Matt Drudge so much? Because the guy is an unbelievable angel. I mean, he's just like that prime mover. Like Drudge is right up there in the compendium. Trump's done more in 2 years than Drudge has done the last 5. But if you go back 20 years with Drudge and his evolution, it's like Drudge is the key to so much. I mean, Breitbart was created. All of it. It was all spawned out of him. I was on air right at the same time as him, was on another track, but it influenced me. But it's like that wave. He kind of came at the same time, him a little bit before me. And it's just, there's that kinship of being in that same, wave. He was like, 100 yards ahead of me. And it's just like, it's all about winning against them. It's not about, and again, I'm competitive. I'm all about free market. But they say they're collectivists all day, but then they actually want to destroy the individual. I'm an individual, but together we create collective dreams of what works best through our individual decisions. They claim they're collectivists and are about the individual through collectivism. They want to end the individual. I want to empower the individual through individual action, but together then it comes together and creates a beautiful tapestry of the collective. So I'm the ultimate collectivist. The ultimate collectivism is pure individualism. Now, going back to Mark here, who again has a lot of his own points. I'm going to try to shut up for about 5 minutes. Just about gestalts. How do we defeat them? What do? We don't bitch. We're not victims. But it's rock and roll. It's Sex Pistols. It's counterculture, but not fake globalist counterculture that they had was anti-Christian. It's real counterculture that they're blocking us, attacking us, saying we're the enemy, saying shut us down. I mean, this is sick. I mean, we should be 50 times bigger, quite frankly, that they're having FCC meetings about shutting Drudge down or having the communist Chinese, quote, help Zuckerberg shut us down. This is sensational. So comments on that, where we go, what we do, Mark Dice.
We need to go back to the fundamentals of bookmarking websites that we like to go to instead of just relying on the Facebook feeds, because as we know, and we need to just continue to repeat these issues because we got a lot of new people.
We should do it every segment.
That they censor everything that's posted on Facebook. I mean, I see people uploading my videos on their Facebook page, which is a free boot, copyright infringement, and it'll get 5-7 million views. On my own video, my own page, it'll get 50,000. And so they're obviously censoring. They don't want certain material to go viral. And it's kind of common sense once you become aware of it. But for your average Joe who, just works a 9 to 5 and maybe a part-time job trying to get some extra money, they come home, they're scanning through their Facebook feeds thinking that they're going to be getting the news from the pages that they're following. They're not going to. And these new censorship tools just rolled out on Twitter where if you use certain words, they're hiding your tweets from anyone except for your followers because they don't want it to be retweeted.
But we can hijack resistance because they've hijacked it from us. Now I wanted to talk, that's what I want to talk about, because they've now hijacked that. You can be smart and use words that they're using, but then hijack them. Just get around the AI. It counts on you being stupid. So use their terms and say, look at these right-wing filth. And then you get out and they're actually coming to the truth.
Your website's InfoWars. There's hashtag wars, which are going on Twitter, where people will hijack a hashtag. We'll see some liberals whining about a certain issue or spewing their disinformation, and then we'll see a flood of conservatives using that hashtag in a very creative way or a certain phrase that's trending in order to get their tweets to try to show up. And so that's part of the reason they're rolling out the censorship tools, is they don't want the merger of those two different worlds because they don't want people to see.
That's right.
The opposing
That's key.
views.
Repeat that. Google admits for a decade their plan is compartmentalization, keeping us all in our own little niches, thinking we're winning, but never letting us out of them. The key is going and engaging liberals. I had a New York Times photographer here, a freelancer, and I said, well, if you're a good photographer, give me your card. We need some photographers to do jobs. She goes, well, do you pay money? And she was being real nice until then. And I went, yeah, of course. She goes, well, I basically probably can't because, I can't be involved with people like you. And I was just like, man, that's a cult. And she was like kind of going on a power trip. And I went, you understand I can get all the photographers I want. I was reaching out to you as a human. You were doing this whole fake act. You were missing nicey pants. And then when we got down to rubber meets the road, you're just here for you. Your boss has sent you in here. I'm not stupid. See, I'm a human. And Trump shutting down the plan to shut down the rest of the coal power plants is going to help poor people. So you think about that. Go ahead.
This is why so many of the liberals thought that it was going to be an easy win for Hillary, because they were in their own little echo chambers. And of course, one of the major reasons the polls were wrong is because they had bullied people into being afraid to express themselves, not only online, but perhaps in person or on the phone. If a pollster were to call, they have family members.
And they were also oversampling.
Yeah, and they were trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy, trying to make people believe that Hillary was going to win. So why go out and even waste your vote, or people not wanting to vote for a supposed loser? And, that's part of the reason why my YouTube channel has been so successful, is because I just keep pointing out their fake news, and it's backfired on them. They've admitted it. The Washington Post, which is really Washington Compost, which coined the term fake news and publicized it, their article was fake news. And they've even admitted that it has backfired. And so they can't really do anything.
In fact, the New York Times said, we wish we wouldn't have created the term fake news. Well, we had a guest on 15 years ago who calls it fake news, John Rappaport. He now works with InfoWars. It's nomorefakenews.com. I mean, you're the fake news. But listen, think about the branding. I love your clown stream. All that's great. I've been looking for years the term. We have to do it where it brands fake news to them. They're called mainstream or lamestream. We need to call them the fake stream with a hashtag. I don't know how all that works. You're better than that than I am. Paul's better than that. The listeners are better. I can't know all this stuff. How do we get fake stream? Next time I talk to Trump, if he calls, I'm gonna say that. But separately, look at this though, because look, I knew about this when he got in the White House back on the 20th. I was told about it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. That you could call a number, a direct one into his office. I mean, I still have it. In fact, I shouldn't even said that part. Anyways, and then he also sits there at the main switchboard with stuff flashing up, calls every millisecond, looking at numbers, and then he randomly picks it up and talks to people because he really likes him and his dad were just addicted to talking to people in the streets. They're like blue collar. And he just loves that feedback. He hates fake people. And the media learned about this. So the New York Times and others, and I've had New York Times talking to me and talking to other people, and they're like, I bring that, and they go, well, don't tell anybody about that. Everybody will know about it because they know. But that's what we do. It's like you can call the White House switchboard, and if the president's there, he's sitting there for off and on while he does stuff at night, drinking a Coke. I guess that's his guilty pleasure. And he'll pick up the phone and talk to you. I mean, it's just, and he really wants to hear just random calls. People disagree, they agree, and no one knows that. I mean, how cool is that?
Part of the reason I started to like Trump is because instead of just watching the 5-second sound bites that the mainstream media would highlight about his daily rallies during the campaign, is I would watch the actual rally. And thank God there were channels out there and people that would record.
Right side broadcasting.
And live stream the entire event. So instead of watching an hour, hour and a half of mindless television or logging on to Netflix and wasting your time, you could watch his entire speeches, and they were all just off the top of his head. It was just incredible. You could see and hear he was speaking from the heart. And even in the end of 2015, I mean, when the early phases of the campaign, I started noticing the massive lies being spread, and my channel.
And we got the WikiLeaks. They admittedly sent the people there to try to get women beat up so they could blame him. But I mean, that's what I'm getting at here, and that's why this Twitter's so important. Trump craves going to his Twitter feed and reading what real people send him and what they do. He loves, and they've taken the phone away, threatening national security, and it'll get hacked, sir. And there's Russian ships off the coast and all this stuff. And so now he's got that switchboard. But that's the thing. Now they know that, so they're feeding him. They're doing it to us too. Nothing but negative comments, hoping to demoralize him. So the next time I talk to him, I want to say, sir, did you know they want to take your Twitter away, and they admittedly are feeding only people that hate you to the top? They've hijacked your Twitter. Please talk about it. I mean, this just shows how I'm not that technical, but I recognize it's going on. The techies confirm it's happening. So we have to help the president. He's so real, just one guy up there surrounded by enemies that everybody has to hit him on Twitter, Facebook, at rallies. Sir, they're only letting you see the negative comments. We love you. We have to let him know because the oxygen he has is that he loves the people.
And I think since his kids are in their 30s, his son-in-law is in his 30s as well, very tech savvy. Jared Kushner, obviously largely credited with helping him surge through his knowledge of social media. And so he is getting this information, even if his analysts are not going to be feeding him the info. He has his family, which sort of grew up with the emergence of social media, were able to give him this information, which obviously they're in a sense advisors. And so that's why the deep state, these sort of, Obama insiders are trying to bring him down from within. So we, in a sense, have an army of evil Edward Snowdens who are deep within the NSA and other government entities that are trying to bring him down by committing crimes, committing serious felonies, by leaking classified information and really misconstruing what that information is to the reporters. And by the time it gets spread around, they'll issue maybe a small retraction. I think it's been 3 times just in the last month that major mainstream media outlets have had to issue retractions by trying to defame me, by accusing me of being an alt-right commentator.
And that's because you're holding them to task. They do it. I'm so busy I can't even do it. I agree with you. I should have a whole office, people that just make them retract, because it's a powerful tool to make them do that. The thing is, they're such liars, though, that people know it, so it doesn't even really hurt me. I mean, that's how out of gas they are. In closing, Mark, it hit me last night, and I meant to make the point today, so I'm going to make it now, that this is the total dichotomy. Obama admittedly went on vacation 4.5 months a year, more than even George W., who was horrible on going on vacations. Trump works until like 10, 11, 12 at night, even when he's, quote, on vacation. Might play golf, once a week when he's on vacation. Amazing. It's just the truth. I hate to gush. It's just, my God, it's true. And here's a guy that so craves people, who's so in love with people. Like, he's in love with beautiful women and his kids and all of it. He just is, he loves life. That's the thing. He's just like alive, strong force, and wants to build things. This is the human spirit. We all have it. It's just strong in Trump. Force is strong with this one. And compare that to them. The elites are all the public scum. They know nothing and trying to make us poor, and the WikiLeaks and Cloward and Pivot, and Africans can't have air conditioning or cars or a house. But I mean, and Obama's telling them just all that, like the creepy, like shrunken starving to death, emaciated New World Order zombie system who thinks Generation Z are zombies. No, they're not. And the fact that they're the ones fastest awakening, it's a fact that now, like, half our traffic's below the age of 18. The elite would kill for that. I want adults to do something and change it. But you know what? If they want to not listen, it's fine. We've got the youth. And so that's why this is so powerful. But here's Trump on fire for hours, answering phones, talking to people calling the White House. I mean, you know, I'm strong and I've got a lot of will and I want to talk to the public, but I couldn't do that. So what does that say about his psychology? And this is big news I'm breaking here, folks. They don't even want this information out. Because I'm telling you, you know, now everybody knows this, it's going to be even harder to get into the president. I mean, I've sat there, ring, 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 and it's like, collect. It's like, oh, I mean, it's crazy. You're not just getting calls from him because they took his cell phone away. This is epic stuff. And I've never heard of anything like this. I mean, it's like he knows it's BS, and he needs that connection to the people, and the vampires are all around him. He needs to get to real people. This is biblical, Mark Dice.
No, it is. I believe that he's an agent of the Lord that is shaking the corrupt system. We were right on the edge of no return, the point of no return. And that's why these liberal establishment elitists over at CNN, the Clown News Network, the Counterfeit News Network, and NBC, nothing but crap, Chuck Todd and all these mainstream leftists, they don't even understand it, or they're really dumbfounded after Trump.
Well, he said in the national inauguration speech, he said, it's you, you're the people, you're humanity, you're the power. He goes, it's you, wake up. He's saying, wake up.
Trump,
and then he wants to, he's not some arrogant guy at 1 in the morning. He's not in there with his supermodel wife. He's talking to you.
Trump and his whole family are the kind of people that you could hang out with at a backyard barbecue around a bonfire and just have a good time. Whereas it would be miserable to be around someone like the Obama.
Oh, they admit the Clintons and all of them are just miserable. God bless you, Mark Dice. MarkDice.com. Thank you so much. Hey, promise me you'll come in the next few weeks. Awesome.
I'm pretty busy. We can talk about it, but
oh my God, I've been telling you. Okay, whatever, man. Hey, well, let's talk soon. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.